I'm Jared Petty for IGN, joined by
Steve Butts.
Steve, we've heard there's a little bit of controversy going on today about the Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens trailer, specifically about the voiceover segment by who we assume to be Mark Hamill. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so the voiceover for the new Force Awakens trailer seems like it's Mark Hamill. He's recycling lines from Return of the Jedi, whoever it is.
Right.
And I don't know that, for me it's not controversial. For me it's interesting, right? But it is a little confusing. And so let me break it down for you. So what he says is, the Force is strong in my family. My father has it, and then there's the picture of Darth Vader's mask, which we presume is from the funeral pyre.
Yeah, kind of melted down there, right?
Yeah. He says, I have it, and there's a shot of a cloaked figure putting a robot hand on R2-D2, which, like there's all kinds of things in that shot that leads you to believe that's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, very evocative of Luke.
Then he says, my sister has it, and there's an alien who sort of hands Luke's original lightsaber from A New Hope to who we presume is Princess Leia.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, that's where it sort of diverges, right? He says, my sister has it. He kind of stops on that line a little bit in Jedi, but he goes right through it here. And then he says, you have that power too.
Right, now we've heard that line before, but in a different place. Please explain.
Yeah, so when he says it in Return of the Jedi, you have that power too, is how he kicks off the conversation with Princess Leia. He says, you have that power too. She says, I could never do that. You do things that I can never do. And he says, no, the Force is strong in my family. And then he sort of starts over at the beginning of where he begins the speech here in the Force Awakens trailer. And where I'm saying I'm just going to assume it's Mark Hamill just for the sake of convenience in the conversation.
Right, some people have been speculating that maybe this is meant to deliberately mislead us. Maybe it's being spoken by a different character. We don't even know if this actually is going to appear in the movie, right? This dialogue. This may just be trailer dialogue.
I'm guessing that's the case. I'm guessing that it's not actually a line in the movie, that it is something that they build just for the trailer. But what's interesting to me, and the part that gets really, really fun for me as a fan, is who's he saying this about when he says you have the power too? Because the screen goes blank at that point. We don't have the Darth Vader mask, we don't have Luke with R2-D2, and we don't have Princess Leia getting the lightsaber. So when he says that fourth piece, when he talks about that fourth person, the screen's black.
There's a sort of a choose your own adventure moment going on here, and we now know that there are three main protagonists. That was revealed in the conference.
Yeah, there's
this morning.
Rey, there's the scavenger on Tatooine, there's Poe Dameron, who's the X-Wing pilot working presumably for Princess Leia, and then there's Finn, the sort of disaffected stormtrooper who's decided maybe he doesn't want that life anymore, he wants to work for the good guys.
We're led to assume it's going to be one of those three people he's talking about. Now, there has been an alternate theory people had running around that this is some other character, maybe this is a bad guy talking, or that there's some other character unrevealed. I'm not really buying into that. I think this is so evocative. It's not meant to fool us, rather it's meant to draw us in. This movie appears to be all about a literal kind of passing of the torch, like that scene with the lightsaber.
Yeah, she hands the torch over to the other generation. I will say though, since we're in total speculation territory here at this point, I'm not completely against the idea that this is not Mark Hamill speaking. This is maybe Mark Hamill's or Luke Skywalker's child saying, my father had it, I have it, my sister has it. So when he says father and we show Darth Vader, maybe he actually is referencing Luke Skywalker. I don't know. That seems a little irresponsible, but what am I going to do here?
Jedi progeny are problematic. We've learned that already.
Well, the whole series is about family and generations and the passing on of the torch.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to find out what those answers mean. Maybe we'll hear more between now and the Christmas release of the movie. But until then, for all things Star Wars and all the awesome things you're into, you're already in the place you need to be. IGN.